All right, so we are anchor up, sails out, good wind. We are moving. We don't know whole speed, but the thing is reading 3.5, 4 knots sometimes when there's a gust. And off we go for another 8-day passage. Lingisi is no longer with us. He is staying here in Cancun. We appreciate everything that you've done on this boat, teaching us all of the ins and outs of sailing, and
we will never forget you, brother. You were amazing to have around. We have all the gratitude, and we wish you safe passage on all your journeys, man. Fair winds and following seas, brother.
Big hugs to you and to your family. Okay, it is almost the end of my watch, almost 3 a.m. and we're officially in the current. Earlier when we left, we had really good speed, and the wind was really nice, not very strong current. We were going maybe anywhere between 3.5 to 5.5 knots, and pointing pretty well. The heading and the course over ground were very close. And at this point, we are getting closer to the stronger point of the current. I don't know if it's still called the Gulf Stream, but it's the one that runs right by Mexico. So the course over ground is math is like 30 degrees off at this point. I think that my heading is anywhere between 160 and 170, and course over ground is like 130, 120, and speed is dropping significantly, anywhere between 1 to 2.5 knots.
We had a little seam rip here that was about that long that we tried to repair with some duct tape and sail repair tape. Well, we put the duct tape on top of the sail repair tape, but it didn't hold. And last night we had some pretty intense winds, probably 16 to 20. And we were bucking it, but unfortunately the sail repair failed, and it ripped the rest of the stitches all the way down the seam. So we pulled the main down, because it can't sail that way. And we're gonna sew it back together and then put it back up. So here's the top of the sail. Go down the sail here, find it. This is the seam. Híjole. Míralo. It's like 60 centimeters.
It's clean though.
It's really clean. Yeah, it's clean. There's no rip in the actual fabric. It's just the stitches that came out. When I drag my finger over them, they're a little bit weak and breaking, which means that they're just kind of old. So we will put new ones in. How's breakfast going, Jen?
Barely.
Barely going?
I don't have to scramble them. They scramble themselves.
So we were kind of struggling because we're in the middle of a Gulf Stream right now. The wind changed and we started going upwind. And we have a rip to main, which is like our best way to go upwind. So we like did a full 360, tacking, jibing, trying to figure out what way we could go that would at least make us go east. We just wanted to go in slightly the direction of east. Southeast, northeast, doesn't matter. Just not north, not west, not south. And we like found one angle, one little bitty angle at which we were able to like inch to the east while we're preparing the mainsail and repairing it. And we were moving at like 0.4 knots. It was gonna take 3 days to get to the other side. So not doable, right? I was like, I gotta do something. I have to do something to give us some kind of speed, anything at all. So I grabbed our storm jib. Hold on, I'll show you. I put our storm jib up using a rope to attach to the tack, the clew, and the halyard is on the halyard. It is laying just a teeny bit on the stay, but I'm a little okay with that for now. It is giving us like an extra 0.5, 0.6 knots, which is incredible because that's enough to keep us pointed while we're doing the repair work on the main. So at least we can continue sailing without like basically doing circles or standing still in the middle of the Gulf Stream, which is no fun because right now we have easterly, northeasterly winds, and that goes directly against the current. And so what we were having, I don't know if we got video of it or not, but all night long and all day today we had water rushing over the boat, flying over the boat, flying from underneath the boat. Everything is soaking wet. We're soaking wet. It was just gnarly, man. It was like 1.50 meter waves. So for 4.5 feet waves, which means it's about 9 feet from top to bottom. Insane size waves. They were above, like you look out, and because the wind is coming from the same direction that the swell is, when the swell comes up and the big ones come, the wind dies. They block the wind almost entirely from the sails. They're so big. And then as soon as the swell comes by, the whole boat's like, and then the waves just crash over the side of the boat. And we're sitting here going 1 knot, half a knot, trying to get like across this thing stream to the point where this is over. Luckily this morning, finally, after the main rips, after we pull it down, and we are struggling because we had beam reach going across, and we were doing like 4 knots, 5 knots going across till the wind shifted and we were going upwind. And then we just dropped down to like half a knot, 1 knot basically, barely able to point in the right direction. And now with the storm jib up as a makeshift main, and the Genoa, which is really a jib, we are finally able to do about a knot 50. So we're at least making progress while we're waiting, and Junie is working her ass off in there sewing up this mainsail. At this point, we're about 3 hours into sewing, give or take about 3, because we had to stop to do some trimming and adjustments and direction changes and things like that. But we're just about 3 hours in, and we're about halfway through the first row, maybe 3/4 of the way through the first row. We have to go down, back, and then back again. So I think it's going to be about 9 to 12 hours more. About 9 to 12 hours more of sewing, so we're just kind of trying to point in the right direction until then. Junie, how much have you done?
I've done the top row, and now I'm
So we started sewing sometime around 6:45 this morning. And right now it is noon. So we are about 5 hours in and we have one row done. Patch fell on my glasses. Anyway, the first set of stitches on this sail, we had to be super precise. We had to put it through the original holes in order to line up the sail back to the way that it was. Before it broke, so that when we put it back up, it's in line, right? And that was a tedious process. And it took a really long time. I think it took 6 hours to do that one. But now that we're on the second line, things are going way faster. I'm about 3/4 way done, and it's been about an hour and a half. So probably another hour and we'll be done with the second row. We've decided 2's enough because we only need 8 days of this sail, and then we're going to retire it. Once we get to Rio Dulce, we're going to get a new main sail because this one is no good. It is patched up to its last. The stitches are starting to break. It's not reliable. It's a good emergency sail we'll throw in the hold, but we won't use it probably as a mainsail again. Yeah, it'll be scrap essentially. Woo! I am sweaty. Junie and I just finished putting up the main. Here she is in all of her glory. Woo! And right under the patch, about right there is the seam that we corrected. And it looks better than it did before. Brand spanking new, baby.
I don't know if it was previously mentioned whenever we were working on fixing the head sail, but we are expecting a little bit of weather this evening with lightning, like storms and stuff. So we are about to take down the Genoa and reef the mainsail, and we're putting up a furlable jib.
We are double reefed on our main, and we also have our small jib up. We didn't reef it because it's like a third of the size of it, of like what our Genoa is. It's super little. It's already way smaller than what our double reefed main is. We haven't gotten quite to the storm yet. We're doing 3 knots. We're expecting probably some good wind then, because it's picking up quite fast. If we get too strong of wind, we'll drop the main. If we still have too strong of wind, we'll pull the head sail down and probably give a reef on it, and then just fly head sail reefed only with our tiny jib. And with that, if we're doing more than a knot, I would be shocked. Okay guys, the storm is here. We're starting to get the winds. At a beam reach, we're entering what speed? We're at 3.2. We were at 3.8 at one point, so the winds are picking up. We're gonna try to keep it under 5 knots. If we hit 5 knots, we're gonna drop the main and leave the jib, because our main is precious. and if we hit 5 with that, then we're gonna reef the jib. Looks like the storm is fairly large in size, and the forewinds are starting to build pretty rapidly. We'll see what happens.
So the storm never ended up hitting us completely. We just watched the lightning. There was no rain, I don't think. So Tzedek took the reef out of the main, raised it back up, and is now. He also took the storm jib down and is putting the Genoa back up. Some incredible seas right now. The water is splashing so strongly that one of our deck boards over there popped off and is loose now, and the front of the canoes have been dipping under the water multiple times. Water is getting into the closed hatches and my bed was wet. We're gonna have to really dry everything out when we get there because there's water coming in at every crack and crevice. How long ago was the storm? Okay, so days ago there was a storm, a lightning storm, and Tzedek unplugged the solar just in case, and forgot to plug it back in, and because of that we ran out of battery. It is a little bit after 5 a.m. right now, and the chart plotter stopped working, and we're using the compass for navigation at this point. We don't have any navigation lights. We don't have what's the light on the top of the mast? Mast light? No lights. Just the stars and the compass.
But we're solo out here. I don't know, however many days we've been out here.
Yeah. So when the sun comes up, we'll start getting charge again and be able to turn everything back on. Okay, so basically there's a really light wind right now anyway, so we have heaved to. We're gonna rest, both of us, just take a little break because the last couple days have been really intense, physically, mentally, and so we're gonna wait for the sun to come up and the batteries to start charging, and then we'll get back on the course. It is daytime. I don't know what day it is. But Tzedek was able to, the sun started charging, man, I'm tired. The sun started charging the panels again, and Tzedek was able to make some adjustments, and the fridge is working better now, and we're expecting that the autopilot also works a bit better now, again turning against the swells and things. So we shouldn't have this issue of things dying as long as it stays plugged in. Okay, so I just looked, and it's only been 2 days and 17 hours. But we've gone about 200 nautical miles, and our average speed is about 3 knots.
Die. That's a fish. Come on, guy. Let it in. See ya.
Captain Ron, my man!
Thank you, Captain Ron, for the fishing pole.
Oh, it's a mahi.
It is? It is?
Did he get off? No!
No.
Yay, he's on.
He is?
No, he's off.
No.
So we've had a couple weather systems pass over our boat, but we've not had any rain or lightning from them. They have only taken the wind from us. And we've been hearing a thud thud. And upon inspection, we have a broken lashing that is barely holding the rudder. So Tzedek's gonna attempt to fix.
Take this. Our rudder is a bit loose. One of the lashings finally rubbed and snapped after a few years of use. There are 4 lashings on each one. They have 6 cross sections where they weave back and forth. I have removed 2 of the sections out of 1 of the 4 lashings, and retightened and tied down. Well, I can't tighten now because I can't get to it to pull without getting out of the boat and getting in the water. And with sails up in the water, even with no wind, it's not something I want to do. So I'm going to trust that instead of having 24 cross sections, having 22 is going to be enough to get us to Rio Dulce. I think it is. I know it is. A little disheartening because it's moving and rubbing more and more, and we need to be a little careful about how we turn so that we're not allowing it to smack and rub like it's been doing. That loosening of the lashing caused a lot of play in that section of the rudder.
We have basically been without wind most of the day. The only time that we're moving is when a system comes by and gives a sprinkle of rain. When the storms come, we move. When there's no storms, we sit still. Not still, not dead in the water, because there's still a current and it is pushing us in the right direction, sort of. As long as there's not lightning, I can be grateful for some weather systems.
possible that they're both coming our way. You know, you never know. That was close. That gives me so much faith in thunderstorms though, that you're not guaranteed to get struck if you're near to where it wants to strike. What? What's this bullshit? Give me some wind. Ooh! Please tell me you got that. I knew that those two colliding storms were going to be brutal. Oh, another good one. This head, I can't see the full head.
Woo! Got that one on camera.
And that made me nervous. So I decided heave 2 is the only option. Save the rigging, you know? Not worth any, I don't care about speed. I care about getting to Rio Dulce.
We've got a little buddy hiding out from the storm. It's okay, guy.
So we didn't quite get the beginning of that storm on film for obvious reasons. That was a monster storm. That was a big squall. It was 2 squalls, one on either side of us, and at first the wind was coming from one side, and then the wind died. And then and Junie was like, I think it's coming from that way. And I said, no, it's coming from that way. And then when we looked further, we realized it was coming from both directions at the same time, and we were dead centered. So it was about to collide from both sides. And I told her, I was like, this is gonna be gnarly. When these 2 storms collide, we're gonna have really bad lightning, and like we're dead center. So we were prepared. We have already, we had a reef in the main, and our Genoa is more like a jib. So I thought it was gonna be okay. Most of the squalls that have come through have been, but this one was special. I think we had about 25 knots, and once we hit about 20, we were doing about 7.5 knots before the surf, and I decided to go ahead and heave 2 to save our rigging. And when I heaved 2, obviously it was raining hard, and we don't have any protection in the front right now, so it was just blasting in on us. And I was like, move all the electronics, our phones, everything, move it. So Ginny moved everything out of the way. And about the time she finished and came back up, while we were heaved to, the lightning struck so close that we watched the strike hit the water. And at the bottom of the strike, I remember telling Junie that I wondered if the lightning, when it struck on land, there's a lightning bolt that kind of comes from the ground and reaches up to the lightning. But on this one, it did not do that. The lightning came all the way down to the water, and where it met the water, it was like a ball of fire. It was red and orange and yellow, like a mini explosion right on the water. And it was close enough, and for 2 or 3 strikes, that we were like, don't strike the boat, don't strike the boat. And man, because this boat's been struck before and I know what happens, the guy Conrad, shout out to Conrad and his videos for teaching us what happens when you get struck by lightning. He got thrown behind that beam from where I am right now. So I knew I don't want to touch this steering wheel any more than I have to, this helm. So I started like with one finger on the helm just in case. And check this out. After being struck by lightning last time, he put this electrical tape all the way around the helm, as protection. But I am like 100% sure that it doesn't matter. You touch that thing when the lightning strikes, you're getting blasted. So that was a nerve-wracking squall. I have almost never experienced lightning that close before. Junie, have you ever experienced lightning that close before?
I think one other time in Costa Rica, up at the finca.
Ah, yeah, we did. One other time in my life have I seen lightning that close. And then after that, she was like, okay, I'm gonna film, because the wind was starting to die down. We were heaved to almost all the way. We were like flopping the head sail, but the main was still catching. So we were doing about 4.5 knots with just the reefed main. Whoo, that was intense. And you guys saw the lightning, so yeah, you know.
That one was a rough one. But don't worry, you stay with us. Right, my beard. Cold. He wants to warm up over there by the fire. Nice and warm, huh? So after that storm, our autopilot's broke. The belt inside of the autopilot snapped, and so we'll be hand steering from here on out, which is a bummer. It's a bummer because at night when the wind is like 2 knots and steady, you can turn autopilot on and you can go out to the deck and watch the stars and have a snack. You can get food for yourself. And now we can't leave the helm. One person has to be on the helm at all times.
Almost there.
Almost there. You can't tell it now. I'm out in the front of the boat. And, I was looking out while we were sailing. We're starting to be like 4 knots, and I looked out and saw what looked like land. I was like, "Oh my God, are we this close to land? I need to check the charts. Or, did I make a mistake? Are we about to hit land?" I couldn't tell what it was, but I could tell that the water was darker in one spot. It looked like we were coming onto like a little reef or an island or something. I come out with the spotlight and spot it, and I realized that there is so much sargassum in the water that even in the pitch black, it looks like there's land all around us. And we're sailing right through it. And it's just incredible, the amount of sargassum. We've seen so much in the sea, it's everywhere. You know, put here by the farmers and their fertilization in the United States, being pumped out into the Gulf Stream heading to Bermuda, and then it cycles back around. And one of the things about the Gulf of Honduras, which is where we are right now, is that all of the current kind of funnels into here. Everything from Belize, from Honduras, Guatemala, all of it gets pushed into the Gulf and down into Puerto Barrios in Guatemala. And so it's like all of the trash from all of these countries, all of the sargassum from the sea, all of it gets pushed into here. And the amount that I'm seeing at night, just at night, is unbelievable, hard to even comprehend.
Almost there. We have made our turn at the bottom of the Ks of Belize. You don't want to be in the video, or you do?
No, I'm just leaning up against the...
And if the winds are steady, then it looks like we'll be anchoring at least before midnight. So here's hoping.
Yeah, it's nice to finish this journey off with a run.
I like
always
jog.
Feels good to run in home, you know. Instead of like last night or the night before last, we were doing like 1 knot all day, 1.5. It was tough.
Yeah.
Today we've been basically all night long. I think I did like 3.5, 4, and 4.5 by morning. And then today it's been solid 4 to 5, and now we're 5 to 6. So absolutely no complaints at all. Yeah.
I would say the winds are maintaining pretty well. So well that we had to take the head sail down. Tzedek is estimating that the winds are around 17 to 19 knots with gusts up to 21. And it was putting a lot of pressure on the rigging. So, almost there.
All right, guys, we're like an hour and a half out, maybe about 25 miles out from Livingston, from Safe Harbor, and we have a storm that hit. We're having the strongest winds we've ever seen. They're 7 Buford, on the high end of 7 Buford, which is around, I'm estimating around 23, 24 knots. We have heavy white streams, hard caps, water's flying everywhere. I was able to get the storm jib on. Right here, you can't really see it, but it's a teeny tiny little sail. I also got the main reefed. There's the reefing points. And we're pulling about 5 knots right now. So heavy winds. But not that far to go.
and then we can pull them down and throw the anchor down and be safe, be at peace. I'm feeling pretty good. It was a fairly straightforward process getting it up, just a little rocky rolly, but everything went fairly smooth. So let's get there safe and sound now. Okay guys, we are fully reefed on the main with the storm jib up. Still pulling in about 5 knots true, and about 6 when we surf. We're almost there. After we hit that point, we're gonna turn. There's a little bit of lightning in behind us, and I'm hoping that once we can turn, we can get away from the swell a bit and calm the seas. As long as we don't hit 6-7 knots, which is about the max for this boat, we will keep the main up. If we hit about 6-7 knots true without surfing, then we will pull the main down and and finish the trip with just the storm jib. All right, we're around 5.8 true, 5.7. We're getting some big gusts that are coming in that are absolutely gale-force winds. The storm is straight overhead. It seems that we're okay for now, but I'm hoping she passes quickly and calms back down. We now have some pretty strong sea spray coming in from the starboard side, and we're about 3 miles from our turn. Once we turn, we'll be heading downwind, and things should get a little bit easier. We will have to jibe, which is a pretty nerve-wracking thing, but it should be okay. So currently we're in storm conditions. We have sideways rain. We have only the storm sail up. We were doing about 5 knots with just the storm sail alone. And we're about 6 miles from shore. And just hoping to make it. All the lights on shore are out. We can't see the shoreline anymore. So we're heading a little blind. And now we're losing a bit. Now the wind has kind of gone, and we're just kind of sitting at about 2 knots.
Why am I hungry?
Still doing about just 2 knots now. Just the storm sail.
After all that, the wind has completely died and we're not moving even a little bit. So we've decided to turn the motors on because, well, motors. Okay, there's just one. Turn the motor on because we don't want to be caught like a sitting duck if these big, I don't know, cargo ships start leaving this bay. Okay, so as you can see, the motor did not turn on, and that's okay, we'll figure it out. Tzedek has lifted the main, and we have taken down the storm jib and lifted the head sail, the Genoa jib. We have a whisper of wind, but the tide is also going out now, so we're only going 1.5 to 1.8 knots. We really don't have that far left to go, so I wonder how long. It may be another 3 hours. For how many miles? For
4 miles.
4 miles. Okay, we could not make it into the channel The wind died like right before we got there. We are releasing anchor. We are releasing the anchor in 5 meters of water, and we'll try again in the morning if the winds are okay. Buen dia, familia. Tzedek tried again the motor this morning, and it is not functioning correctly. It's not turning on. We do have a bit of wind, so we are raising the anchor to try to get in there, son, so that we can check in. We'll be putting up sails momentarily, and I think he said that we're gonna be at a beam going in. Feels right to me. What a view to wake up here this morning in Guatemala with the mountains. I will say the water is yucky. I've been spoiled with all of the deep blue ocean water, the clear water in Mexico, the clearish water in Key West. The water here is very green, very much bay-like, if you know what I mean. Things have really changed since the last time that we've been here. They have added this really beautiful park at right outside of the dock. Okay, I really want to film the process for you guys checking into Livingston or La Buga, but my phone is dying. I only have 9% left, so I'm just going to tell you what it's like, and maybe I can get a couple shots of where we go before it dies. So first we have to visit the Capitanía, and that is where they allow the boat to enter, and then after we go to immigration, and that's where that they allow us to enter. They stamp our passports there. After that, we have to go to customs, right? Aduana, and then the bank to pay.
So
We have to go to customs, and then we have to go to the bank to pay, and then we have to go back to customs to show that we paid.
yes.
Yes.
Okay, so they just left. We are told that we need a ZARP for the entry into Guatemala, even though they don't issue one for the United States for U.S. flagged vessels. So we need to go to a lawyer, basically, that gives a document that says that, and a sworn statement essentially saying that we did leave from the United States. And then we can go to Aduana, and then we can go to the bank, and then we go back to Aduana, and then we go get our passport stamped. So, still in process. Everything's good so far.